So we've come back out onto Pulawska Street. It's that away, only 5 minutes walk to the metro. And once the tram is moved, you'll see that it's very nice that Żabka are located just over there as well. If you wanted to pick up a drink on the go, or a sandwich, snack, some kind, if you wanted to sit down and not pay too much money, I suspect, there's a little Krolikarnia Park. So if you feel like a savoury or sweet pastry, why not pop into Mushrooms Cafe, I'll call it. And once we leave the boundary of Krolikarnia, if it is a bit overfull one hot summer's day when you're visiting, there's also this large park here, right alongside Park Arcadia. No sculptures, few bodies of water, but just a nice little place to escape if the crowds are a bit much around Krolikarnia itself. Now what I would like to do is walk up here all the way to northward, north direction, not south, otherwise you're going to be in a pickle, to Plaza Bavicella. I think that's where Ulica Pulawska ends up. From memory, I should check the Google Maps or my paper map more thoroughly, shouldn't I, before I make a bold statement with such certainty. We'll find out in time whether I'm right or wrong. I am hoping, because I've read online that there are some nice bits and pieces of street art in this area in general. Couldn't find any specific examples or locations or side street names. It was just along Ulica Pulawska. It's really a case of keep your eyes peeled for some nice surprises, hopefully. Isn't that absolutely ghastly? Who would want to live in a glass box? It beats me. Oh, we've even got a beer dronker here. Can't beat a beer dronker, can you? I don't know what you think, but I'm getting a little bit of an impression walking along Pulawska that these buildings have been fairly recently freshly all painted over. I'm just wondering whether there's been a tidy up along this street, and that might explain why there's not the abundance, in fact there's no street art that I can see whatsoever visible by just walking up here. Now admittedly I could walk down every side street and walk all around, and then I would find tucked away there are little pieces here and there. Interesting to see this, isn't it? Old school post box. Yeah, I wonder if it's a part of the gentrification of Pulawska. Yeah, I'm feeling about as confused as you, Bruce. Where is it all? I'm just looking at the sterility of these facades of the buildings and scratching my head. But I'll tell you what, if you want to live near a water park, there's one right over there. So if you want that opportunity, if you've got a family, keep the kids happy, buy a year's membership or something. Nice place to dip into, I imagine. Close to home if you live in the neighbourhood. keep the kids safe, teach them to swim. Maybe it has that kind of appeal. Just feel some warm water on your bones in the depths of winter. Although on a day like today, it's absolutely lovely. And we're out hunting for street art, and I wouldn't normally say it, but that Scandinavian style architecture is actually a little bit of a breath of fresh air compared to some of the stark, sterile surfaces of the buildings all around. Even the water park, which also has a billiard hall, it seems. All very dull, isn't it? What happened? I wonder if there was a move online to mock the English-speaking tourists. Local Polish folk in Warsaw having a bit of a laugh, recommending Pulawska Street as a treasure trove for street art, artistic graffiti, murals. Although, I don't know, now my expectations are plummeting. Perhaps what's going to happen is, all of a sudden, I'll become pleasantly surprised. You know, the mood becomes somber. Have I wasted my time? Of course not, I've got some exercise. But, yeah, suddenly things might change once I see something of artistic value. Or anything at all, really. This is Pulawska Street I'm on, isn't it? I didn't take the wrong turn. No, it's Pulawska Street. A notable figure remembered from the Warsaw Uprising, Józef Rosicki. What's in here? Gosh, it's a church. And I was talking to someone the other day, I think it was in Lublin, that's right, Mr. Moad. And I was telling him a story of what I'd been told many years ago. Many Roman Catholic churches in Poland ended up looking like the architect had gone mad. Tasteless, unappealing, or just weird structures with a cross on top. And basically it was because, as I was told, the in-charge town planners, I suppose you'd call them, the atheist communists, turned down repeatedly attractive designs for new Catholic churches, and they thought that would discourage people continuing to return with revised blueprints. However, it didn't discourage the Polish people and the Polish architects. They just kept putting forward, pretty much by the seams of it, absolutely anything that they could get approval for in order to provide the local population with the church they wish to have. Here's an example, I think, of one of those structures. So you need to know a bit of the backstory before condemning it as unappealing on the eye. Still on Ulica Pulawska. Still really trying to find the street art, but getting a strong sense of I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Not for the first time. Just happened to be curious enough, I suppose, to turn my head to the right. We got something down there just off Pulawska, down a side street. Gotta get a little closer. Sigh of relief, finally. If we don't see another piece of artwork today, then I'll tell you what, I'm satisfied. It's an absolutely bizarre and ridiculous spin on St. George slaying the dragon, when it's obviously not St. George. There's a bit of a Roman gladiator's helmet going on there, and a headless horse that he's mounted on. Well, he seems to be a part of the horse, doesn't he? But by no means a minotaur or anything of that type of creature. Yeah, and the dragon is replaced by some kind of mechanical deer. Or is it? It's bizarre, but I'm really grateful. It's something nice on the eye. Ooh, and another flashback to the National Museum, of course. You'll recognise perhaps who we have here. Jan Matejko with his most famous symbol. Court jester to the king. Very nice indeed. Actually, Jan Matejko looking rather like a short version of Christopher Lee, the actor, with a very large, unconvincing hand. But I won't pick holes in it. I just have, haven't I? Shouldn't have picked holes in it. I like it still. Things are picking up. There was another little piece which, if I'd wanted to go down a side street further, I could have seen close up, but on the side of a building was a multicoloured pattern. Bright and colourful, certainly an improvement on much of the blandness of the facades on the street, but not really interesting enough shapes and forms. Not for me, anyway. Now this is interesting. Obviously a reconstruction of something which used to be here, I would imagine. Or is it just a moment of madness in Warsaw's planning office? Hard to say. Somebody creating a fake history, or a genuine reconstruction of a toll gate perhaps, which used to be on this spot. Don't want to be over cynical. I'm going to give Warsaw credit and say, yeah, there was something just like this here once, and probably another one just on the other side of the road, and it was all a very long time ago. And you may have kept awake long enough during our little walk around Krolikarnia Park to fix in your memory that at number 28 Pulawska apparently is one of the few remaining pieces of artwork left by the artist who created the concrete boar. Well, there's the Wedel building, Wedel Czekolada. You can go in and enjoy delicious hot chocolate or delicious chocolate cake with coffee. But I'm going over there right now to have a look at that rare piece of frieze which still exists above the front door. And it certainly pays dividends to keep your eyes peeled what's down the side streets. Maybe that was the way to go. I should have known better, shouldn't I? Perhaps I am guilty of not doing Pulawska justice, but I am right now. Look at that glorious painting on the side of the building. There's also this very cute little Fiat here in a vomit-worthy mint green. Pistachio, that's it, isn't it? It's pistachio, Rick. That was what they call the colour of your moped. But, oh, I wish I could get an elevated position, because I know as I get closer probably the angle will be against me. But it's glorious. I can't wait to get across the road. Oh, and I've come across a little bit of a nugget here, I think. A little gold nugget. More than one. Here we go, the Lone Wolf What's It Club. No Club or something like that. It's a cracker, isn't it? Lovely old bike. And look what's here. A little bit of cuteness. Wolfabet. And we're in the Mokotów district of Warsaw. This street's called Sandomierska. It's right across the road from Nowe Teatr, New Theatre, on Madeleńskiego. School of head honchos, head handlover, head salespeople of the future, maybe. And we've got a little plaque, Stanisław Wojciechowski. Unfortunately, it's all in Polish, from my point of view, but fortunately for Polish people. And there is a little, one of these little barcode things, I guess, if you can use them, you can get an English translation to explain all the beautiful artwork. And this is what awaits around the corner. Super, isn't it? Absolutely super. And oh, hello, I'm about to get run over. Or maybe they're opening the door to let me in because they can see I appreciate the artwork. No, there's a man coming out with his dog. Hello, Popster.
A takie mroźne dni trafili, ale w niecały tydzień wymalowali.
A, bardzo piękne. O.
Na początku jak dziwnie wyglądało.
Oops. I can't get enough of this. So much in there. Isn't that super? It's like they're closing the door of a vault on a treasure trove. I'll say it again. Piękne. Beautiful. Okay, I can't stop filming it, but I need to. Foolish man. I'm sure it must be terribly frustrating trying to follow my videos when I get distracted like that. But I just had to go down the side street, Madeleńskiego, to have a look at some colour on a wall. I didn't know what was going to be there, but boy, it was a knockout, wasn't it? Back here to the Wedel chocolate building, and this is the frieze which, if you remember, was referred to. It's an animal figure again. The man who did the boar in concrete in Krolikarnia Park. This is a bit of a rarity, one of his only remaining pieces which didn't get destroyed during the Second World War. I'm thinking tiger in the forest or long grass. And on the other side of the road where I was walking, there's a big park. Should I investigate that further, or... Oh, I guess I should have a little nose, shouldn't I? Ho. Stary Mokotów, Morskie Oko. Park Morskie Oko. Now, I thought Morskie Oko was the Eye of the Sea lake in the mountains down in the south of Poland. Got to go and have a quick look just to see what we've got down here, haven't we? Of course we have. Let's do a little exploration. You're never too old. And by my calculation, I think Morskie Oko should be just over here? Oh, there's a rat. I was about to say, oh, there's a grey squirrel. But no, it's a rat. Now, let's see if this is the eye of... completely the wrong colour. Well, it's a nice lake in a park, a small park in Mokotów, just south of the centre here in Warsaw. I'm not going to knock it, but be careful of those rats. Don't want them nibbling at your toes, do you? All I'll say is, who needs to pay to go into a museum? Plenty of gorgeous pieces here in brass and bronze and other materials besides. Of course, nothing to go in and have a look, but I fear I would be there all day. And with actually no intention of buying anything as well, but still, hasn't stopped me before. So I tell you what, we're getting up to the more interesting part of ulica Pulawska, aren't we? I would say so. The other part might be a little quieter and frankly dull to live in, but this area has got a bit more life about it. And some very nice pieces here if you want alternative flower pots. Or what could you actually do with the houses, I wonder? Ask the florist inside what you can do, I guess. Hope you get a clean answer. Immediately on Pulawska Street, there's this little locked up area, which apparently is a gallery. Locked up though, for the idle wanderer to otherwise walk in and enjoy what may be plastered on the walls in the little cul-de-sac down there. Bit of a shame. We'll never know, will we? Ah, well. Too bad. And here I think we've reached Plac Unii Lubelskiego, with some interesting architecture, I think you'll agree. About time, isn't it? I think this is where it dies out if you're going down Pulawska. Now we've got a little bit more character. Polna Street, that away, but I think I'll be heading follow the trams. That's always a good sign. And also I want to get a closer image of the frieze on that building up there and the figure at the top. Bit ambitious with the zoom. Come to central Warsaw, visit Pulawska. And for sure you'll see this column with the two racing, roaring fighters, swords in hand, at the top. At the base there are references to various years in Polish history. Grochów, 1831, Walowice, 1865, Gokitna, 1915, Komorów, 1920, Mokra, 1939, Bziura, also 1939, and a whole lot more besides on the other parts of the plaque. So is it just simply a memorial to all those Polish people who have fallen in warfare over the years? How far back does it go? My eyesight's terrible. Zoom on the cameras, shaky at best. I'm trying to tell myself I'm seeing some dates in the mid 17th century as well. Have to have a look around the other side. 1,000 years of Polish. 1,000 years of being Polish means a heck of a lot of battles, including Monte Cassino, 1944, where my father actually took place in that battle in Italy. He was fighting the British Army alongside the Canadians, and there was a Polish army unit as well. More of that story actually coming up in the next video, where we meet an interesting character called Bear Wojtek, who I only learned about yesterday from a lady chatting in the hostel.